Let's start from where you came from, right? You
Yeah.
came Australia. What part of Australia?
So I'm from a little like place called like Torquay, Bells Beach. It's a really big surf town in like about an hour from Melbourne, in like very south of Australia. So yeah, grew up there. My whole life grew up on like a farm, like about 10 minutes from the beach. So like yeah, like we have like cows and chickens and a big orchard.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm a farm girl, like which is a
You
lot of people are like what the fuck, like.
so you know how to really like do some farm shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you know how to milk cows, you know how to
Mm-hmm.
like, chickens.
Yeah.
You know how to I don't know, something with corn
We didn't
or
have too much
maize.
corn, but like yeah, like we did have corn for a little bit. Yeah, like yeah, full on. Like it was it's funny because my boyfriend's Indian. He's like and he's Hindu and like no doesn't really like touching meat or anything like that. He eats a little bit, but like now like when we have chicken, he's like, can you do it? And I was just like, yeah, I'll like I can prepare it because he's just like he's
Really?
like I can't. And growing up like so my grandma was both my mom's side of the family is Italian, so my mom's Italian and my grandma was like a refugee from Yugoslavia. So they were very very poor and came to Australia as refugees. So they like my grandma kind of also I had a lot to do with my upbringing and it was very much like still that refugee mentality of like we don't have a lot of food or we don't have a lot of stuff. So she taught me my dad also like we would kill chickens and this kind of stuff. So like as a kid I used to like like watch dad kill the chickens and pluck them and then like cut them open and like take all the meat out and like use all the stuff from the inside of the chicken and stuff. So like yeah, I grew up like that, like
Oh wow, that's
full
real farm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad's very it's like kind of almost like a self-sustainable farm as well. So like we have a massive orchard, so we would like pick all the fruit, the vegetables, and we would like preserve them and like this kind of stuff. So yeah,
Wow.
like full on.
Oh, so you know how to live for real. Like
Yeah. So, but like, look at me. I look like, this like Elle Woods, like kind of like blonde, legally blonde girl. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, if there's an atomic bomb or something, like I'll be fine.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
to you first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how to kill a
I
chicken.
don't look like it. I don't look like it, but yeah, I know how to survive.
Oh shit! Yeah, you that's something you can hide in the cards, right?
Yeah.
Somebody be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna ask her for
Yeah.
help, you
Yeah.
know?
Like most people are like, what? You grew up on a farm? I was like, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can start your own group, you know?
Yeah.
Boom, there you
Yeah. It's a
go.
little commune. Like, I'll be
Yeah, you
fine.
got the
Yeah.
stand up skills, and
Yeah.
also to know how
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
grow an orchard or
I could
something.
start a cult, is basically what I'm saying.
You can do
I
it.
could totally start a cult.
Very charismatic. You got good stories. Probably some good
Totally,
parables in there.
totally. Oh my god, totally. Oh my god, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
you
it,
should
man. You
do
wanna
it.
come?
Oh, Berlin's
Really?
I still just got my visa, so I
Yeah, yeah.
gotta.
You're like, I'm
I
good.
don't,
I'm
I don't
good.
think in the visa I can join a call. I think that's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
They don't-
Well, yeah. It won't be. You won't know it's a cult until like I'm in jail. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that the kind of? Isn't,
You in jail.
isn't that how it works? Like people don't know it's a cult until there's a Netflix documentary or someone's in prison. You know,
Yeah,
like
like I thought this was a fun group. You guys had a Telegram group and
yeah,
everything. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
all fun.
There's like comedy. There's I don't think there's ever been a comedy cult, has there? Like
Nah, we too
there's
narcissistic to
yoga,
have
yeah,
that.
yoga cult. There's just like yeah,
Yeah,
like fun.
everyone would want to be the leader. There will be no followers. Everyone
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
let me get
True.
some stage time on being a
Yeah,
leader."
yeah, true,
Yeah,
exactly.
it
Yeah,
would just be
yeah.
a whole bunch of leaders just having rotating stage time,
Yeah, 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 exactly.
being like,
In front of each other, which is just like an open mic, to be honest.
pretty
Like, so
much.
yeah,
We're like,
yeah,
yeah, we believe you. Yes, yes,
yeah,
we drink
yeah,
the
yeah,
Kool Aid.
yeah.
All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, you got one more minute. Get off the stage.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but yeah, so that was like kind of my yeah, my upbringing. It was like very much like farm girl, um, in a small kind of town in yeah in Australia. So then yeah,
So you grew up on a farm in a
yeah,
surf town.
yeah,
That is interesting. Did you ever
yeah.
go surfing or?
No, I'm terrible at surfing. And I'm also like for someone who also grew up on a farm, I'm like terrified of like sharks and snakes and
Yeah,
spiders.
I mean,
It's Australia. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's for real. That's
Yeah.
yeah, you should. No,
Yeah.
people are not scared of sharks like that in Australia.
No, I think do you know what? It's like a lot of people say that to me. They're like, "Oh, I want to go to Australia, but like I'm scared of the animals and this kind of stuff." And like that is fair, like but I don't know, like my uncles go surfing like every day and I think in their time they've only ever had a run in with a shark like maybe once or twice, but it's never been like bad or anything like that. So
Okay.
yeah, it's all right. Like it's fine, but like I think yeah, it sounds worse than it actually is. But or maybe you just get used to it. You just like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like cause just one time, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Like was Jaws a big thing out there or?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was a little bit before my time, but like I think yeah, I don't know. Like for us, it's just kind of normal. And like where I grew up, it was more spiders and like obviously sharks and stuff. But the sharks are
Oh,
not
spiders.
spiders, yeah. But when I moved, I studied in far north Queensland, which is very tropical. It's like up very far north of Australia, and that's where a lot of like the brown snakes and like the really poisonous snakes are. And that freaked me out when I first moved up there because like I'd
Oh
see them all the
yeah.
time, and I would be
Wait,
like.
you will see poisonous snakes all the time?
And so I went to I was in this town called Mackay, which is like far north Queensland. It's very it's like a mining town, but it's like very, and I studied there for 1 year after my high school. And we so you there's a lot of cane fields. So I don't know if you do you remember that Simpsons episode where there's like cane toads?
No,
And they go to Australia and there's like they introduce the cane toads to Australia. Anyway, it's
no,
like
no.
Aussies love The Simpsons, which is like a weird kind of thing.
Interesting.
So we basically so there's cane fields, which is like all the sugar cane fields, and my university was like on the cane fields. So our residential college was like there, and then we had to walk like probably I think like 300 or 400 meters to like the Conservatorium of Music, which is where I was studying. And yeah, like there'd be days we'd be like walking along the path, and you just see this like thing like go like a snake like next to you, and you'd be like, I know that's a poisonous brown snake. Keep walking, just keep walking, because there's like nowhere to go, like. And the best thing to do is walk because it creates kind of vibration, and they don't want to be near that. So, yeah. And we also had like cane toads everywhere. We had like snake guards on our doors. We had there was like randomly always like green tree frogs in the sink, like we'd just be like, what the hell, like. So yeah, that for me was like. I grew up on a farm and different, obviously down south, but like when I moved to Queensland, I was like, oh my God, this is like next level. So
Oh my,
yeah.
that is crazy.
Mm.
You saw poisonous snakes every day?
Like
Uh,
nearly not every day, but like a lot of the time, yeah, you would
Yeah, I
see them
mean,
like
look, more than 2 times a year is already
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah.
like zone, like this is like level 5 threat level.
Yeah.
We need to do something. Why is there school? Close all the schools.
Yeah, yeah.
What's happening?
And then like you couldn't go swimming in the ocean because we had 6 months of the year in Queensland, like you can't go swimming because of box jellyfish. So they're like the really dangerous jellyfish that like you go into cardiac arrest in like 30 seconds. Like so you can't literally go into the ocean to go swimming. So everyone has pools and this kind of stuff. And there's also up north is like cassowaries, like are those like weird emu birds that can like disembowel you, like they run at you like I know, right? So like this is why like where I grew up in Melbourne, like it's like not that bad. And then when I moved to Queensland, I was like, oh my, like this is the Australia, like that, Steve Irwin style, like crocodile hunter Australia. And I was like, I lasted a year, not even a year, and I was like, get me back to Victoria. I was like, I'm good, I'm good.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You have birds
Yeah,
that disembowel you,
yeah, yeah.
and this is like part of the year that they just out in these
They're just
streets.
out, yeah, yeah. So you'll be driving. Where was I driving recently? I think it was a couple of years ago, and we were driving from I don't know from somewhere like Townsville or down the coast, and there's actually signs like beware cassowaries because they can just live in there. So if you and I'm always terrified. It's like don't break down the car, like well, like just get like just. I mean, you don't really see them out on the road, but if you do, they literally like I'll show you like after we finish. Like the photos are scary, and they've got these like they look like prehistoric like dinosaurs. Like they've got these like claws that they'll just run at you and like jump and like yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, that is crazy. So
Yeah.
like are these attacks often?
No, I think a lot of it is like people like Germans and stuff coming to Australia that are like backpacking and they don't really know about like the animals. So even
Right.
up north, like even in Darwin, Northern Territory and stuff, there's all these signs are in like different languages, but a lot of German signs as well, because there's a lot of a lot of Germans go to Australia, go on a, like a backpacking kind of thing.
Mm.
And they travel around and yeah, there's all these signs like beware of crocodiles, beware of cassowaries, like beware of this, like because yeah, like if you don't really speak the language or whatever and you don't really understand like this is a dangerous place to be, like yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Okay, this is like a side tangent, but this is I think
Mm,
it's important. It's the right
mm.
time to ask. How important was Animal Planet or like the Discovery Channel? How big of a thing was that in Australia?
uh it's not, I don't think it was that big. So this is what I say, like, I made a joke about it, in my last show, but like in Australia, like I don't remember anything academic from school, but what I do remember from like, especially my like primary school, was basically we're taught how to swim super early in Australia, like because there's rips, there's like sharks, like this kind of
Mm.
stuff. You're also taught how to, like, if there's a snake, if you get bitten by a snake, what to do. So like we're taught all these things at school, like, which is the kind of thing that you remember. So I don't know, like that's also what's important in like schooling in Australia is like, oh, how
Mhm.
to survive, like it's not algebra, like this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, like how do you survive in this
Yeah.
kind of environment? So how like bushfires, which are very big where
Mm.
I grew up and stuff as well. So yeah, like you have classes on and schooling on that. And because it's fear based, you remember it. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
'cause, like, for real, like, I mean,
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
teach you about the birds that disembowel
No,
you?
because they're like native to Queensland. But like I
Okay.
think schools in probably Far North Queensland, also like in Northern Territory, like
Okay.
where crocodiles and stuff are quite big, like they would probably teach you about, what would happen if you ran into one or what to do. And yeah, crazy.
Okay, so yeah, you guys got taught. So you guys didn't need a TV show to teach you. You guys had it in real life in the
Yeah,
places.
yeah. I mean, obviously not like if you're in Sydney or if you're in like CBD or like suburban Melbourne or this kind
Mhm.
of stuff. But I think anywhere else like regional, rural, like they're the things you're going to be learning like in your school or this kind of stuff.
Hmm. How about the crocodile hunter?
I mean, he is a national treasure, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, he
yeah.
is loved by many people. Oof,
Yeah,
yeah, that dude.
yeah. He was kind of, I think back in the day he was so big. And even now he's like son and daughter, Bindi and Robert, like they're both big celebrities and stuff in Australia. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, yeah, he's a national treasure. Like everyone was devastated. I think the whole world was like
Oh yeah,
when he passed away.
almost teared up when he had like some the son had something or whatever
Yeah, did
about
you see?
the.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
And it
almost
was all
tear.
these like, because he was only like I think 2 or something when his dad died. So I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I saw that thing. He was like, my anniversary of his dad, and I was just like, oh
Oh
my
my god, I was like, that's his son for real.
yeah,
Look, the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
looks, everything.
yeah.
I'm
I
like,
know.
that's his son for real.
And even personality wise and like all this sort of stuff. Like he didn't have
Yeah.
to get into doing what he does, like animal stuff. Like he could have been like, nah, fuck that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
he could have been influencer.
Yeah.
You serious?
I mean, he kind of is an influencer as well. Like his
I'm
TikTok's gone off, but yeah.
Yeah, but he still keeps it real. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's
Huh.
being that, like, and then happens to be a celebrity because of that.
Yeah, 100%.
He could have
Yeah.
been like a nepo baby, being
Yeah.
like, "Hey, so I'm the
Yeah.
crocodile hunter's son,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
give me what I want, and
Yeah, yeah,
any
yeah.
hotel you should give me comp." He could
But
have done
no.
that.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, he's still I mean, he was on, I think he hosts like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here now in Australia. Like, so he's on like a lot of TV in
Wow.
Australia as well. So yeah, he's cool. Like he's like very down to earth and like, I don't think he would have been like that because he's like family and his dad is not like that either. So it was very
Mhm.
much just like for the good of the animals and like this kind of stuff. So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good
Yeah.
to hear. Okay, that's good that he's
Yeah.
also good at he's popular as well in Australia as he is everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, and very down to earth, which is but I think in Australia if you're not like that, you're probably like it I don't know, Australians aren't like they don't like people who are too like showy or like too
Mm.
confident or this kind of stuff that you have to kind of be like, "Oh no, I'm chill." Like this is the kind of vibe.
Yeah, that parts of the world that is something, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys don't like the American bravado
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah,
much,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changing, I think, a little bit now because of like the kind of influencer culture and like online and this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But for the most part, like we have this thing like tall poppy syndrome in Australia, which is like where if
Mm.
you are better than everyone else, people be like, "Oh, look at her! Like, what was she doing?" Like this kind of stuff. So, which I don't really like because I mean, I love doing shows in America and being there because like people celebrate you,
Right.
like, "Oh man, you're doing this. That's fucking awesome. That's great." Like, and you're like, "Yeah," like, like as opposed to Australia, which will just be like, "Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good you're doing that." Like where there's like an underlying like jealousy or this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's like it's good. It is what